Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm sitting down to share with you guys all about our upcoming homeschool year schedules and a little bit of what is new and different that we are doing this year, some things I'm excited about, just really a homeschool mom chat. So grab your coffee, sit down, and let me share with you guys a little bit about what is going to be going on this homeschooling year. Before we get into that though, I do want to thank today's video sponsor, which is Night Zookeeper. More on them because we are definitely taking Night Zookeeper into Fun Fridays in our upcoming homeschool year. All right, you guys, so here I am telling you, declaring to all of you that I am getting ready this year to graduate my very first homeschool student. My oldest daughter will be graduating our homeschool this year, and with that is a whole tidal wave of emotions that I am not even going to tap into, discuss, even get into today. But that is obviously going to be a big change this year, is just moving every month closer toward the end of her homeschooling journey. And if you guys have been with me, watched us homeschool, watched my channel for almost a decade, then I know that even though you've never met me, some of you have met me, but some of you guys might feel the weight to that. So that is obviously going to be a big thing this year. So that's something new. Another thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that I did a vlog recently, maybe last month, where I talked about daily routines and rhythms and flows. And I actually was typing them up in the vlog, which is why I touched on them. But for the sake of making a concise scheduled type video for you guys, I'm just going to give you the rundown. It is the same for me as it has been for years, which is also why I'm like, do they even need to hear this from me anymore? I've already told them about this so many times. But basically we are going to continue with our year-round homeschooling approach. We are going to be, by the time you guys see this, back into our homeschool year, and we will not take any time off until probably mid-October. I do not like to take time off the first 6 weeks as we get into a good rhythm and routine, and now combine that this year with me having 2 dual enrolled college students. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But we are going to be sticking with our 5-day-a-week schedule, the last day of the week, Friday, being a flexible day, a lighter day, not doing everything on Fridays, but that day can also be moved to the middle of the week should I need it to do so. So that is going to be the schedule that we are following. 5 days a week with a flex day, so the 5th day is a little bit lighter. And that is where Night Zookeeper, today's video sponsor, comes in. So if you guys have been watching my channel for a long time, you have heard me rave about Night Zookeeper before, but it is truly because they are just a one-of-a-kind resource that I found years ago when I very first started homeschooling. Night Zookeeper is an award-winning creative writing platform for kids ages 5 through 12-ish, and there are tons and tons and tons of interactive, fun ways for your kids to practice all of those language arts, writing, diagramming, spelling, and even typing. So much practice for computer literacy on Night Zookeeper. They can do that all on their own. It's very independent. It's very child and user friendly. And the best part about it is your kids will not even know that they're like learning. They will just be having fun, which is what learning should be. But if you've got a kid who's a little reluctant, this will be a great way for them to get some extra practice in and not give you a hard time about it. They can earn prizes, they can unlock different areas as they move through Night Zookeeper. They can create their own characters and watch them come to life on the screen. There are just so many fun things for them to do on Night Zookeeper, and we absolutely love it. So how we use that in our homeschool is on Fridays, my youngest daughter takes a break from her language arts curriculum, and I have her spend some time on Night Zookeeper. She looks forward to it all week. I look forward to it as well because it's a nice change up, and I know that she is practicing so much of what we've spent the week learning. And so it's not just wasted time on a screen, it's valuable, and we've used it in our homeschool for years. So my friends at Night Zookeeper wanted me to offer you guys a very, very generous offer. It is 50% off of your subscription plus a 7-day free trial. So you can try it out for free using the link down below. There is no code needed, none at all. So just go ahead and click that link. That will automatically give you that free trial plus that 50% off. And then you can use Night Zookeeper in your homeschool in the way that would be a blessing and benefit to you, whether it's reinforcement and more practice, whether it's a fun Friday type situation, whether it's for your younger kids while you work one-on-one with your older kids, whether your kids just haven't spent a ton of time on a computer and they need some help, giving them something good to focus on is a great thing to do in homeschooling. So there's so many reasons, so many ways to implement Night Zookeeper. Traveling, all of those are wonderful reasons why, but you can implement it how you need to. We just like to do it on Fridays. So all of the information will be down below to Night Zookeeper. So that is a little bit of how we're gonna go about our scheduling this year. So year-round, no time off basically until October. I only plan out those first 6 to 7 weeks of homeschooling, and when I say plan out, I mean like fill in the calendar. We just always do the next lesson on the next day, and I don't really have like lessons planned out. It's just the next lesson on the next day. So that's what we've always done. That's what has always worked well for us. And then at each quarter, I have goals of where I want to be with those lessons. So then I know like pace-wise where I'm at, if I need to pick it up or if I need to slow it down or whatever I need to do. So at the end of quarter one, I expect us to be at least like 45 lessons in, and I kind of divide up the total number over those 4 quarters. And that has worked so, so well for me for the last like 4 or 5 years, from when I transitioned from doing strictly a 4-day-a-week homeschooling week to needing to add that 5th day for my older kids. So that is what it's looking like for us as far as the schedule goes. So now I want to kind of chat with you guys about some things that are new for this homeschool year. So obviously my daughter being a senior and only needing 1 credit, American government, to graduate high school, her day is going to be a little bit different. So she has a much lighter load from me, and this year, her senior year, I could have given her credit for like a government we did a few years ago course. So she could have graduated, but we just see no need in like rushing things around here. So she is dual enrolled again with Grand Canyon University, and she is going to be taking a lot more classes this year from them. So, that is going to be a new thing, like mostly college classes. What I am holding on to as far as like our homeschool structure and the way we've always done things is morning time together. So still doing Bible study, still doing World Watch all together, and still reading 1 book together. That's kind of what I've had to limit it down to as my children have grown, but I'm holding on to that anchor, and I know it's probably a little bit comforting for her as well to still have that, while she really just is going to be basically a full-time college student this year, while also doing American government and economics and a Dave Ramsey course, because I want her to be as prepared as possible for adulthood. So that is going to be different. The next little thing that I don't think I've said anything about is that my son, right behind her, is also officially a dual enrolled college student. He did not go with Grand Canyon University like my oldest did. He actually applied for the Master's University, which is in Santa Clarita, California. It is, if you're familiar with John MacArthur, he is the chancellor of the school, so it is very sound theology and a very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? A very certain type of Christian student would attend this college. So they do have dual enrollment options for high schoolers, and he got accepted. So that was really exciting because I do think they're a little more selective and have a little bit more of I don't know, a criteria. And he has a lot of reasons why he chose the masters over doing like GCU, which I've become very familiar with. My daughter, it's very user friendly, a really great online option. But for him and what he's thinking about right now, which we all know can be so subject to change and probably will change, it just made more sense for his interests and what God has for him in the future to, if he's going to start, let's at least start in a place that makes sense. So he's going to be doing that, and that is going to be a new thing. So now I've got 2 of my homeschooled high schoolers in college, dual enrolled, and so when they start doing those things, it's basically like I'm back in college too, because they need help. They don't know how to navigate. My oldest does now, but last year she did not know how to navigate things and type essays and save them to PDFs and email them to professors and put them through their plagiarism program to make sure nothing is quoted wrong, or, there's just a lot to it. He is taking world literature, and I know he's really excited to get started. So that is going to be something new this year. For us, we also, another new thing is that since I started homeschooling, I have taught history, family style, as a family, or as like in groups of 2. And this is the first year ever in my entire decade of homeschooling where everyone is going to be doing history on their own. So that just was a necessary change that I needed to make. And so this year, that'll be a new thing, everyone doing their own history. As far as like co-ops, activities, things like that we are going to be involved in this year. So much has changed since I think I've really talked about this on my channel. But my older 2 kids, they go to CrossFit. That has become their activity. They were both on club soccer and club swimming teams, and for various reasons, different timelines, decided that they were not enjoying that anymore and they wanted to kind of stop doing that. Now that was a shock both times because of how much time, money, investment, all of it. But at the end of the day, if they are voicing valid reasoning, and so we're just going to support them in that. So my older 2 kids do CrossFit. My oldest daughter has a job. She works between 15 and 20 hours a week. So that takes up a lot of her time, but she is happy to be making money, saving money, and her getting a job has been a very, very good thing once we got through the hurdles of like how to balance life with the job. My son wants to get a job. He turned 16 over the summer. He is very eager to work and earn money, and in young men, we especially want to encourage this. However, he is starting college and going to be a newly licensed driver, and I just learned from my oldest daughter last year that too many new things at once is kind of a bad situation. So I'm trying to pace him, but I have a feeling at some point this year he will want to be getting a job. My younger son is doing jujitsu. He is really enjoying competing in that. He has really excelled and really taken to it. So that has been something he's been doing for like the last year and a half. My youngest daughter is on a competitive dance team, and that takes up a lot of time. It's kind of funny how God worked that out for me, like with my older kids kind of deciding on their own. We never told them that they had to do this. I would have made it work if they all were doing things still. But they decided that they were ready to kind of be done with that, and now it allowed for my youngest daughter to become more involved in dance. And so along with that, she's going to be doing her very first solo this year, which is dancing by herself and competing that. So those are like what they're doing as far as extracurriculars go, which it doesn't lend a ton of time to doing like extra things. So it was really hard this year to plan to just do intentional things with our friends who, if you guys follow on Instagram, we have 2 of my really good friends, and they each have 2 kids, so 4 kids there, my 8 kids. They range in age from my daughter, who's going to be 18 this year, down to 11. So that's kind of the age range. And we've just done things together ever basically since 2014, 2015. So a really long time. Each year we've done different things, like poetry tea time one of us has hosted. I did book clubs. We've done a lot of different things. But this year was probably our most challenging year yet when it came to planning what we were all gonna do, because it's not just my kids, and I just gave you the rundown of what we've got going on. Not to mention they actually need to have time to like do their schoolwork, but they have their own things going on too. So it's very challenging, but we were able to do it. So what we're gonna be doing this year, one of my friends is going to be doing a once a month kind of like state themed study with activities and food, most importantly for the teenagers, the food for the state. And that is just supposed to be a fun time, a fellowship, and them getting together. My other friend decided that she just wanted to open up her home for like a designated Friday night hangout type time because the scheduling was getting crazy. And so rather than the kids not seeing each other because they're all so busy, making that a priority and having one night a month on the calendar where they're going to go over, she'll put out some games, puzzles, whatever, and the kids can all be together and have fun. I know will be something that they all really look forward to. So she's going to be doing that. As for me, I was asked by someone at my church to teach a apologetics class for high schoolers, and then I suggested middle schoolers because my youngest daughter definitely needs to be in attendance if I'm going to be teaching it. So I am going to be teaching for the first time ever apologetics to anybody that wants to come in our homeschool group. And so that is going to be a new thing for me. I'm going to be teaching twice a month, and both times it's going to be a 2-hour time frame. So if you all would pray for me and just pray that I would do a good job, that I would not misspeak, that I would not misrepresent God's word, that the children would be respectful and attentive and all of that, and that it would be fruitful and enjoyable, I would greatly appreciate it. So that is something new that I am taking on this year. Now, I did not think that this year would be the year, my daughter's senior year, that I would be taking on something new like that. But when the Lord asks and you see that there's a need and you know that you can fill it, then it's just kind of one of those things like, okay, all right, I'll go ahead and do this. So that is what I'm going to be doing this year, and my friends, the ones I was just talking about, their kids will be in attendance. So that's kind of like my contribution. So I think that that is everything new, yes, that I kind of wanted to go over with you guys as far as like what is new for us in our homeschool. No year is the same. Some things stay the same. They're like the framework, and then what fills in the framework is the different stuff. So we are just over here navigating life with soon to be 4 teenagers. Did you guys know that? This year I will have 4 teenagers. In December, all of my kids will officially be teenagers. Mind-blowing. But yes, if you all would pray for that apologetics class, I would be grateful. And that is just a little bit of a chat, a little bit of an update on what is going to be different this year. Don't forget to check out the links down below to Night Zookeeper. Save yourself 50% off. I love giving 50% off offers to you guys. It's so generous. So make sure you check it out and find a way to incorporate it into your homeschool. Seriously, even just for an hour break in the afternoons, top notch. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions, post them down below and I will try to get back to you. Please give this video a thumbs up before you click out of it. It's a free way to support my channel, and it keeps me showing up in your algorithm, which is really important after being on YouTube talking about homeschooling for the last, 9 years. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.